Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Tomorrow ties a big fat bow on spring 2024. The orange and white game taking place inside of Neyland Stadium. And look, I get it. I understand. For some people, it's very vanilla. It's very basic. It's very dumbed down. But it's something that, we as fans get excited about. We get to see football. We get to see football inside Neyland Stadium with some fans in the stands. I know it's limited, but still, we're going to be hanging out in G10 parking garage tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Come by, say hello, hang out. Should be a good time. But what are you specifically looking for in the orange and white game? What are you looking for in the spring game? Are you just excited to see football, or is there something that you're going to be watching for tomorrow afternoon inside of Neyland Stadium? But not just football, it's also big for recruiting. Huge weekend of recruiting. Going to be headlined by five-star quarterback Tennessee commit George McIntyre, going to be in town. He's got that opportunity to peer recruit. And, kids want to play. They want to play with elite level quarterbacks. And Josh Heupel's done a good job keeping that quarterback room full of elite quarterbacks, and he's going to continue to do that. But, guys like David Sanders are going to be in town. Guys like Jalen Matthews, also a wide receiver prospect. Derek Meadows, four-star wide receiver, going to be in town, kind of came out of nowhere. So many guys are going to be on campus that I may actually turn this video into two, because I really want to spend some time talking about the quarterback position, because as a head coach, as a football coach, Josh Heupel has to recruit a quarterback year in and year out. You take one every cycle. And I get it, 2024, the age of the transfer portal, the quarterback room is probably the most difficult room to keep intact, right? Because these guys, the elite quarterbacks, they want to play. They don't want to sit and wait. And that's what, is special about Nico. The fact that he sat under the learning tree behind Joe Milton, waited his turn. Now he's got that red shirt under his belt. He's learned the offense. He's grown. He's adapted, put on some weight. I'm excited to see what Nico can do in 2024. But you go all the way back to when Josh Heupel arrived. Right, he's already got Hendon Hooker in the room. He goes into the transfer portal. He adds Joe Milton, and then you look at high school recruiting. Added Taven Jackson in the class of 2022, and I know things didn't work out for Taven Jackson, but again, it's the day and age that we live in, the transfer portal era. You sign Nico in that following class. I think Taven Jackson kind of saw the writing on the wall, transfers off to Indiana, but you get Nico in the boat. Not only is he an elite level quarterback, the number one ranked quarterback in the cycle, also the number one ranked player in the country, according to On3. You get him in the boat, and, we as fans, you look at that next cycle, the class of 24, going to be tough. How are you going to get a quarterback to commit knowing that Nico is in the room? Well, that did not stop Jake Merklinger. And some people, they comment on my videos and say, Boogie, all you ever talk about is Nico. You never talk about Jake. It's Nico this, it's George that. What about Jake Merklinger? I like Jake. I think he's a competitor. I think he's a gunslinger, a four-star prospect, top 200 kid according to the industry rankings, 12th ranked quarterback in his cycle. And I've said it time and time again, look, this is Nico's team. Nico's going to go out and play football, and his goal is 2 years and then off to the NFL. And guess what? We're going to have a quarterback competition. It's going to be down between George McIntyre and Jake Merklinger. Let the best man win, and the other one can transfer. That's the way college football works in 2024. So the question for this video, who is the next elite Josh Heupel quarterback, where he's going to be in town this weekend? Class of 26, number one ranked quarterback will be in town. We're going to take a look at what he brings to the table. We're going to look at some tape. It will impress you. We're going to look at a scouting report and where Tennessee is at with this recruitment. But as always, guys, I need you to do me a favor and hit that little thumbs up just below the video. Quick, free, easy helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. If it's your first time on the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't pretend to be any of that stuff. This channel is for the fans, by the fans, built on the backs of the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Got a fun one coming up Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I mentioned that George has an opportunity to peer recruit an elite offensive tackle. Four-star offensive tackle Jalen Matthews is going to be on the show Sunday night, 7 o'clock. He's in town this weekend. He's going to be recapping that visit right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. Also, Jamal Wallace, Tennessee defensive lineman, getting ready to move in from JUCO. He'll be in town this weekend for the orange and white game. He's going to be on the show next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So all kinds of fun content coming your way. But let's get into it. Let's talk about who could possibly be the next elite quarterback in the Josh Heupel offense. Faison Brandon, class of 2026, 6'3", 185 out of North Carolina, four-star prospect, top 50 guy, but you can see there On3, has him ranked as the number 1 quarterback in the class of 2026. You look at his recruitment. Right now, he's focused on taking visits, building relationships. As far as the spring goes, he took visits to Florida State, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, and Penn State. He was also in Knoxville back at the beginning of February. Going to be returning again this weekend for the orange and white game. The trip this weekend, will be his 6th time in Knoxville in the last year. So a guy that Tennessee was in on early, 2023 as a high school sophomore, went 13-1 as a first-year starter, led his team to the North Carolina 4A playoffs. His numbers, 191 out of 277, almost 70% completion percentage, threw for 3,026 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Also ran for 528 yards and 9 touchdowns, which averaged 6.2 yards per carry. I want to throw some tape here up on the screen, let you guys look at the highlights yourself. Again, his accuracy, man, what he can do with the football, and you'll see it here on the first couple of plays. Really, really talented quarterback out of North Carolina, but you guys can take a look at it, and you can throw it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Look at that throw right there. Just put it in the perfect position. Here, again, deep ball. You got a wide receiver beating his man. Hits him in stride, right? That was such a struggle with Joe Milton, and not to throw another dart at the dartboard on Joe Milton. But when you got a guy open, you've got to give him an opportunity to go make a play. You've got to hit him in stride, and that's something that we see Nico do. That's something that we're seeing right here on the screen with Faison Brandon has the ability to do as well. Did find a scouting report, limited scouting report from him on SI.com. This is from Evan Kroll. Says Brandon plays in a pace and space offense that lets him make those cross-hash big boy throws. He can place the ball down the sideline and away from defenders and has strong control of the arc of his football. While Brandon doesn't frequently rip it into windows, he certainly can and will if the opportunity presents itself. Goes on to talk a little bit about pocket awareness. Says he's built a strong foundation through his first 2 high school seasons. Every move is purposeful. Even when he quickens his drop back to account for red zone pressure, the footwork aligns and he hits each checkpoint in his release the same. Brandon's not afraid to take a hit and not let the impact deter his throw. Talks about his anticipation. Says he's built a strong rapport with each of his pass catchers at his high school this season, showcasing an ability to put a football in the right spot before his target makes their break. That says a lot when a young quarterback can take a mental defense in pre-snap, see them adjust after the snap, get a picture of how they're going to move, and find the right window to put the football into. It is a very promising sign. So as you guys watch the tape, again, just putting the ball on the money, man, letting his playmakers go make plays. We'll take one last look at this last one down the sideline. Again, just rips it. What does he do? He hits his man in stride time and time again as a sophomore. That's sophomore tape, first-year starter. As far as his recruitment goes, I went over to Chad Simmons of On3.com. This was from about a month ago, back on March the 18th. Says the buzz around Faison Brandon, North Carolina, is the home state school. Tar Heels are in the mix, but some SEC schools are high on the list too. He was at Georgia recently. The Bulldogs offered, again, this is from back in March, said Brandon could be back in Athens to work with the staff in June. Alabama is high on the list, and he will be in Tuscaloosa this weekend. Again, that visit did take place. I mentioned where all he visited: FSU, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Penn State. I talked about in a recent recruiting video, Tennessee is now recruiting at that elite level. You're trying to get into the top 5, top 10. You're going to be in some big boy battles. When we talk about guys like David Sanders, Caleb Cunningham, Jamie French, big boy battles. They won a big one last cycle. People want to talk about NIL and Tennessee's not doing enough. They won a competitive recruiting battle against the Georgia Bulldogs for Mike Matthews. So again, you look at the teams, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, big boy recruiting. Goes on to say Tennessee has been in heavy pursuit for months. Florida State is another ACC program that he's taking a strong look at. Tennessee going to very much be in this one. And again, what I like is this coaching staff, particularly Josh Heupel. I think he knows a little something about playing the quarterback position, about being able to evaluate talent at the quarterback position. And again, you look at the body of work he's done since arriving in Knoxville, from Taven Jackson to Nico to Jake Merklinger, now George McIntyre, and now we look to the class of 26. Is Faison Brandon the next elite gunslinger to come to the University of Tennessee? We are stacking quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. And, time and time again on this channel, I talk about how Tennessee wants to recruit elite quarterbacks. they want to recruit elite offensive tackles, and they want to recruit elite edge rushers. Those are the positions of priority. Could they add another one in the class of 26? Again, a lot of talent on campus this weekend. The more I talked about Faison Brandon or thought about Faison Brandon, figured I would break this thing into 2 videos. May drop one late tonight or early tomorrow morning. You guys can watch on the way down to Knoxville for the orange and white game. But that is going to do it for this one. Make sure you smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out all the Talkin VAWLS merchandise. We're going to be discontinuing some of the merch, some of the old logo stuff. The link is in the description below if you want to pick that up. Also, thank you to all the members of the channel. Could not do this without your support. Think about hitting that join button right beside subscribe. There's a little button that says join. You can do that for $1 a month, and we would greatly appreciate the support. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.